gods and goddesses, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today we are playing Bookish Mash. This video was inspired by Rebecca Bloom here on BookTube. Basically, if you guys don't know what MASH is, it is kind of a game that determines your fictional life. I played this almost every single day in elementary school, so when I saw Rebecca's video, nostalgia jumped out. I knew I had to do this. I have setting, job, spouse, genre, transportation, best friend, skill, YA trope, and finally enemy. So let's get started. I have them all listed. Setting option is of course going to be Camp Half-Blood. I don't necessarily want to be in Camp Half-Blood because, you know, monsters and all that stuff, I don't have to deal with it. But technically if I'm like in Camp Half-Blood, they won't bother me and I get to, you know, admire Percy from afar. So the next setting is Quadara, and Quadara is from Four Dead Queens. It is the country. Quadara is broke up into 4 quadrants. There is an agricultural quadrant, there is a mercantile quadrant, a advanced tech quadrant, and a cultural artsy quadrant, and obviously that's the one I would want to live in specifically, but I would not discriminate. So Quadara is going. And the last setting I have is the Martial Empire from The Ember and the Ashes. It's like the Roman Empire 10 times worse. So I don't want to live there. I don't like being oppressed. It's fine. We're fine. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention that you're supposed to put one that you don't necessarily want, and I tried to do that with all of the categories, but some of them don't have that, so I apologize, but this is my video, this is my channel, so fight me. Now, the next option is your job, your occupation, and for this, it's real easy. The first one I have is a queen, because you all know I love a queen trope, and I am already a queen. The next one is an assassin, and although I think the concept of an assassin is badass, and I love assassins, and I love reading about them, I personally would not want to be an assassin, because not that I have problems with killing people, I wouldn't want to put myself in risk of getting caught or getting killed myself, so I don't want to be an assassin. And then the last option is kind of one that I don't necessarily want to be either, because I'm not a religious person, but that is a cleric, specifically from Wicked Saints. But I would want to be a cleric just so I could talk to the gods and we could like bullshit together, we could get a little kiki with the gods, and I feel like that could be fun. And like, one of the reasons why I'm not religious is just because I don't believe in God, and like gods, plural, singular, so like, but like if they talk to me, I would either accept the fact that they are real or that I'm schizophrenic, which I feel like being, you know, communicating with the gods is way cooler, but you know, to each their own. I don't know if that's an offensive mental health joke. If it is, whoops. But y'all know how I be. I be offending people left and right, so it's fine. So my first option is my one and only, my husband for life, my first book boyfriend, and that is Dimitri from the Vampire Academy. I love him with my whole heart. Honestly, me, him, and Rose can just have a threesome, and I would be 100% okay with that. I was gonna put Rose for my other spouse too, so it's a win-win. We could do what the Infernal Devices was not brave enough to do, and I am all for that. Oh my god. How many times is that gonna happen? If this painting falls during this video, I'm suing the entire BookTube community. So, you have been warned. Get your lawyers ready. The next option is Evelyn Hugo, and honestly, I would love to be the wife of Evelyn Hugo. Here's the deal with other spouse of Evelyn Hugo, one of the other many. They did not support her. They constantly tried to hold her back. They didn't see her ambitious goals as legitimate, and honestly, I would would put her first. I would put her first, put her goals first, and I would just watch from afar and just let her do her damn thing. And honestly, if that one person just did that and supported her unconditionally, none of the tragedy would happen. And so I would do that for Evelyn. I would love her, I would support her, and even though I don't believe blondes deserve rights, hot Cuban women do. Now, the last spouse option is another one that I would not want. I do not want him near me. I do not want him in my presence. I just don't want that toxicity in my life. I don't deserve it, and I don't need it. And that is Dada from the City of Brass. I don't like it at all, and I don't like Dada specifically. He's hot, but looks aren't everything, ladies, so do better. He needs to do better, and hopefully I can do better to myself and not be stuck with him. Alright, now the next category is genre. I'm gonna do fantasy, thriller, and contemporary. A lot of these options are very fantasy based. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but it's gonna be interesting, so I'm ready to find out with you. I'll make sure to switch sides when we do the calculations, don't worry. The next category is transportation. The first form of transportation I have is Roach from the Witcher series. Roach is Geralt's horse. She's such a trooper. Geralt and Roach's relationship is so hilarious. It's kind of hard to explain, so this is just pointless and you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Regardless, Roach is my first choice. My next choice is Drogon from the Game of Thrones series. I haven't read the book, so I'm a poser, and I'm not caught up on the series either, so double poser, I'm fake. It's fine. Drogon is one of Daenerys' dragons, and he's like the craziest of them, so don't necessarily want to deal with that. I have enough attitude on my own, so I don't need my animal companion to have just as much, if not more, attitude than me, so that would not slide. But like, he's still a dragon, so is it really a lose-lose situation? I don't know. My last form of transportation is the Sod from Tequila Kingdom. The Sod is Prince Elian's ship, and y'all know I would love to be atop his ship. The next category is BFF. My first BFF option is Tessa Gray from the Infernal Devices. I was going back and forth on whether I wanted her to be my spouse or my BFF, but she is very sweet, and honestly, we could be friends with benefits. I'm not gonna be mad about that. And again, we could have a foursome. Her, me, Jem, Will, let's do it. I'm down. We could like have like a little book club, and it would be super cute. We could like share corsets. I love that for us. My next option is one that I would despise and would not ever want in a million years, and that is Daisy Jones from Daisy Jones and the Six. So, but unfortunately she's got to go on here because I hate myself. That is an ugly way to spell her name, and that's what she deserves. My last option for the BFF category is Gravel from The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green. Gravel is like the Hound, but he's like a little more charismatic, I guess you could say, or like a little less murderous, and he has like a relationship with an Arya type character, and he is just so funny. I love him so much. He just spends his money on women and booze, and honestly, he's a demon hunter, so he really deserves it. He deserves that break, and I will never fault him for it. Now for the skill option, I first went with a killer touch. My next choice is strategy, and this is more of like the normal, like not really any powers or anything, more like Tyrion from Game of Thrones, which is still a good skill to have, but it's not like magic, so it's like the lesser of the two options. And then finally an elementalist, which is pretty much everybody's favorite superpower or magic ability, so I thought that would be a fun time. My handwriting just gets worse and worse as this video goes on. Obviously the first one we gotta go with is a love triangle, and if I get a love triangle, I get to pick the other option. Geometry, we love her. Next trope is the chosen one trope, and the final trope is secret royalty. Honestly, I think the least one I want is the chosen one trope because, again, y'all know I'm a lazy ass bitch. I don't want to have to deal with saving the world. I don't want that responsibility on my shoulders. I didn't ask for that. I don't want it. And quite frankly, I don't deserve it. Finally, for the enemy, option 4 enemy is Lana from And I Darken. I would kill a bitch. My next option is Lilith from A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I feel like Lilith and I could have an enemies to lovers trope, high key. So honestly, I wouldn't be mad if she was my enemy because I feel like it wouldn't last because the sexual tension would just be through the roof. We probably wouldn't be enemies for very long. And the last option I have is Malekiash from Wicked Saints. How the fuck am I gonna spell that? We're just gonna look. I'm just going to run a random number. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
The answer is 8.
8. Let's go. My results are in. I live in a mansion, which, yes. Setting is Camp Half-Blood. So, I go to Camp Half-Blood in like the summer. I'm chilling. Maybe I'm like a camp counselor. The rest of the year, I live in my mansion, and my mansion has the same boundaries of Camp Half-Blood, so we're good. Patient is a queen. Love that. So, I'm like the queen of Camp Half-Blood. Seems appropriate. Daughter of Aphrodite being the queen of Camp Half-Blood. I love that. My spouse is Dimitri, which I just knew that he couldn't stay away from me. I'm just so intoxicating. My genre is fantasy, which goes transportation is Roach, which I love that. She's got some attitude, but she's pretty loyal all in all. My BFF is Daisy Jones, which quite frankly will not last. But is it tragic if she dies? No, not really. My skill is a killer touch. It's gonna be something that Dimitri and I have to work through, but I think that we are going to be able to make it work, and we're gonna get some help, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna work. A glove kink is possible, and I'm not going to kink shame that. My trope is the chosen one trope. Not a huge fan of that, but I'm a queen with a killer touch, and I am some way associated with the gods, so I'm not terribly unfit for the role. And then my enemy is Lilith, which totally works with my killer touch because, again, we are just going to have an enemies to lover story. I don't think Dimitri's gonna like Lilith that much, so I feel like the first book I'm gonna be with Dimitri, and then the second book I'm gonna be with Lilith. Comment down below who you ship more, me with Dimitri or me with Lilith, because honestly, as much as I love Dimitri, Lilith just does it for me. So, I don't know about you guys, but this just turned into a New York Times bestseller list. Someone needs to write it. Alright, you guys, so that is the end of this video. Please check out Rebecca down below. I will link her channel and her own MASH video down below, so go give her some love. Hope you guys do this as well because it was a grand old time, and quite frankly, I am very happy with the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!